more so the thing we wanted to do was take care of ourselves first. I mean, that's what you do most of the time in your bye weeks. Take care of those things that you had to deal with. Offensively, defensively, special teams wise, and there's no doubt it gives you an opportunity to have a couple practices, film sessions, walkthroughs on your upcoming opponent. And obviously this particular game, because it's an option attack and also a 3-4 defense that hopefully provides a little bit of extra preparation for that. So we spend most of it just taking care of ourselves, and then getting healthier. That was another issue, and then also the challenges that that this type of offense presents, as well as defensively. Maryland had a really good game plan, and a lot of teams go into it with assignment football, tackling the dive, someone having the quarterback, someone having the pitch. And, it looked like that they were more inclined to allow the quarterback to try to run the ball more. I think the quarterback had 32 rushes. And, so that might be some scheme built into it. If anybody's going to beat you, then let the quarterback beat you. Although the fullbacks on some of their trap options there was one really long run, couple long runs. So I think one of the things they were able to do is change up their assignments. Offensively, again, we get the TV copy and we look at let the TV copy and listen to the commentators. But offensively, Maryland wanted to hang on to the ball more. They were known as a hurry-up offense. So if you hang on to the ball more, then that's less time, that you give that prolific Georgia Tech offense a chance to have it. And they did some things. They weren't afraid to throw the ball down the field. You saw Georgia Tech; they threw the ball down the field. There were a couple of times guys just either overthrew it or went through a guy's hand, or a defender made a great play. And prior to that, those guys have been making those type of catches. And so I think it's a culmination of a lot of things. But they played well. They played inspired. They had a young man, I guess, that got seriously injured, and so different things like that. They were on the road, but they did a great job of trying to execute their game plan. I'm sure if you talk to Coach Johnson and Coach Grove defensively, they didn't execute. There were a couple plays there that if they had back, it'd be a much different story. So, but you did see the effort that Maryland gave, and it was a pretty good effort. I think we've improved defensively. Obviously, with the things you look at are some of the big plays that have occurred passing, the passing yardage, or those last few games, North Carolina, Southern Miss game. But I think statistically where we are, like total defense in the top 30, just different things like that we're, just getting better. If we just eliminate some of those big plays on defense, if the ball gets thrown behind you, eliminate, a long run here or there. I mean, the screen play that went the distance, a couple games ago. Eliminate those type of things, and that puts you in a better position. You feel pretty good about yourself. So, the defense is playing better, but we got to play better, particularly going down this stretch. Because I don't think we're doing too well offensively in terms of turnovers. I mean, we've given the ball up more than we've taken it away. And a mark of a good offensive team is not giving the ball up. The mark of a good defensive team is creating turnovers. So if we have 3, then defensive's got to get it back 4, or we don't have any, then we got to get the ball back. So, and it goes back into possessions. It goes back into what Mike asked about when do you put those young guys in. I mean, there's just a whole bunch of things that that you look at. But I think I think defensively we're better than what we were last year, but we're still nowhere where we need to be, because we're getting, we're going to be playing. This team that we'll get ready to play is first or second in BCS football in terms of putting points and yardage up on the board. So can we talk again next week? You know what, Jeff, I think part of it, experience, I mean, that helps a lot of times, because, it's a different style of blocking when you talk about up front. But I also think that, you only see it one time out of the 12 games that you play. Everyone else is a spread offense or a two-back offense, pro style. the techniques that you use, that's what you practice with during spring training and early camp. So you have to rely on the guys' ability, recall ability, the experience that they've had in playing, against this type of offense. So, in particular, the guys that you mentioned, Nick and Matt, it does start up front again because the challenges that are presented with the big splits and the style of blocking. You can have a guy on the dive, or you can have a guy in the quarterback, as we were talking before. Coach Johnson does a great job of the guy that he finds out as your quarterback player. He'll pull somebody and as they call load scheme, block that guy. And so you just being able to move, being able to change up, who's got what. That's all part of it. And so we're relying on those guys that have been around it and played it, to play their technique the best of their ability. He has progressed as a lot of these other freshmen have, but particularly when you're a quarterback, I mean, there's a lot of things that go along with that. And we talked about using this time also to bring him as far as he can go from a mental capability of being able to be a quarterback and go in a game and command a huddle. And so he's improved this past week, and he's got another week, this week left. And hopefully we anticipate an opportunity for him to play more. As for Michael, I mean, same situation. I mean, Michael is what's happening. It's creating a competition that both of those guys are starting to raise their level here a little bit, and I think as we move forward, going into this, today will be the first practice since the fall break started, is to see where they're at now, see how much of a learning curve having last week will benefit both of them, benefit Michael, benefit David, and we'll, as we go along here, we'll see from health standpoint, from the learning curve, physically what our game plan is going to be this week, to see what opportunity is going to be presented for either one of those two guys to get an extensive amount of reps and help us win the game. Another guy because of the off week is Ross Matheny has practiced well. So, like I said, I go back to the competition of all those guys knowing that, hey, listen, you got to bring your A game even at practice. I mean, everyone should have that message, but particularly at that position too. I think it's going to make us a better team because we need better play, and we'll get better play because between Michael and David, they're doing a nice job of getting ready to be a college quarterback, and this defense, the 3-4 defense, and the challenges that it presents.